Mary had to carry Jesus all by herself. Sometimes in your life, there are going to be assignments or promises that God gives you that you are going to have to carry all by yourself. And the thing is, she didn't want to do it alone. She told Joseph about her situation, and even though he was the closest person to her, he still said, this has got nothing to do with me. I'm out. But God had to be the one to bring Joseph on board, because that was not Mary's job. Mary's job was to carry the baby and birth the baby. She was the only one who could feel the pains of her pregnancy. She was the only one who could feel the weight of what she was carrying. And she was the only one who could see the signs that the birth was coming close. And I know that we so desperately want people's approval for God's assignments or God's dreams that He's put in our hearts. We want that validation for people to say, no, you're not crazy. That's definitely God. But the truth is, we're not always going to get that. If you look at every single person that God gave a dream to in the Bible or a promise to, everybody thought they were crazy. In fact, it was rare that people supported them in that. Stop waiting for other people to approve of the dream that God put inside you. You only need validation from one person, and one person alone. And it's the one who put the dream there in the first place. It is up to you to carry this thing to fruition. It is up to you to give birth to this dream. No one can do it but you. But you got to be strong. You got to be resilient. And you got to stop letting these doubts take over. Because in all honesty, there's no room for that right now. So make your decision today that you are going to believe God no matter what anybody else says. Because they will see it eventually. But the dream will just probably have to be born first. But I will say that you're not in this alone. I know better than anybody what that feels like. There are so many promises that I have been holding on to, some of them for 4 years now, that God has put in my heart, and I know they're coming, but even the people closest to me have a hard time believing it. But that's where I had to make the decision for myself that I was not going to let go no matter what. Because getting to carry this thing, even if it's by myself, that's an honor that God's given me. It's something important that He's entrusted me with. And I'm going to do it justice. But if you're struggling to find the promises for your life, or you want to know more about what to do with these promises, then you may want to check out my book, 7 Days to a Life of Limitless, if you haven't already. I have a whole chapter in here about the promises of God. It'll teach you how to steward those promises, how to wait for those promises. All that good stuff is in here. I also wrote a journal to go with it called Go Ask God the Journal. That's 120 question prompts that help you practice hearing His voice. And if you want to take it a step further, I've opened up a mentorship class this year. There's 4 different levels, so you can choose which rate you want to grow at, but this will just give you group coaching from me that'll help you overcome some of those hurdles that have been holding you back. 2025 is the year that we throw off the shackles and just run this race with reckless abandon. So if you want to join us, check it out in my profile.